Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of the S17 Xbox F2 Championship. We're here in Shanghai, China for today's race. Michael Schumacher recorded his last victory here in 2006 according to the Tracks Facts video. I'm Alex, your commentator for tonight. I believe it is just me for tonight, but not to worry, we've got plenty of action for you. So as you can see, we've got some of the past highlights from here. If you see on F1 2017, so McLaren's round, oh sorry, that's a Haas there, so them going round the hairpin there. That's obviously a sight for many of the overtakes just around there in turn 14, followed by 15. Of course, being a modern track is designed by Herman Tilke. This track being built on clean marshland and also used to be a swamp, funny enough. So you know, you got, if you look in the hospitality areas, it is mostly surrounded by rocks. It's $450 million it costs, so you wouldn't be surprised considering how large the circuit is and also how grand the circuit is as well. As you can see from the main grandstand there, we've got the medium, the soft and the ultra soft tyre on offer for tonight. Oh, that is the wrong one there, but if we quickly move over, we can get on with the hot lap, which is brought to you by Justin Sutton and CRG Evo.
This week we're on board with the Ferrari of Evo from the Xbox F1 League as he navigates a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit ahead of the Chinese Grand Prix. Starting his lap now on the rundown toward a very high-speed, swooping double right-hander of turns 1 and 2. Not an easy overtaking location, but we do expect to see some side-by-side action at these corners during the races this week. Try to open up turn 3 as much as possible in order to get the best run through turn 4 and inevitably turn 5 and into the very likely overtaking location at the hairpin of turn 6. Evo will be braking right around the 100-meter board and all the way down to second gear for the entrance and apex before popping back up into third gear for the exit in order to minimize wheel spin. Up through the gears on the short run down to my favorite part of the track with a high-speed left and then a slightly lower speed right, dropping from 7th down to 5th and hugging the inside of the corner as much as possible in order to open up the double left-handers of 9 and 10. 10 is a bit more open than 9, so carry that speed onto the medium length straight and down toward the heavy braking zone of turn 11, and also the DRS detection line at the entrance of turn 12, which along with turn 13 make up the most important corners on the circuit due to the extremely long straight that follows them. Understeer can be your biggest enemy coming out of these increasing radius corners, and proximity to the car in front will have a huge effect on your ability to overtake into the super heavy braking zone of turn 14. Well over 330 kph with the DRS open, Evo now spots his braking point just before the 100-meter board and slams on the brakes, downshifting all the way to second gear once again, but holding it for a bit of the exit before climbing back up through the gears towards the tricky final corner. Stab of the brakes and 2 downshifts are enough to get the car through the corner cleanly, and then it's a short sprint to the line, and that's a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit.
So here we are now on track. We've had about, we've got 14 minutes left of qualifying. It's been 2 or 3 minutes already on the board. Everyone's out except for Hayden, who is, I believe, just away slightly. And we've got a yellow flag straight away in Sector 2. We've got some times already on the board. RSI Dunny there just set, and the quickest time so far, 1:31.661, but I believe that time, as you can see there, was set on the mediums. Everyone is on the mediums except for Sam, who is on the ultra softs, and Living Dead, who is on the soft. So obviously, You know, this is a very complicated track. Obviously, you've got the, you know, the quite twisty sections. You've got it 1, 2 is probably, you know, what, you know, the corners that everyone remembers. You know, the very long twist in turn 1, turn 2, and then back around for turn 3. Kind of like a circle going in and then out is the best way to describe it. And then you've got 4, then 5, and you've got 6, which is even more twisty. And you've got, you know, you've got 9, then you've got 12, which is kind of the similar fashion to 1, but in a different direction clearly, and opens up to the long straight. I think it's about over a mile and about half long. So, you know, you've really got to balance in terms of your setup, the downforce you need to, you know, be able to go fast in the twist, you know, the twisty, long, you know, high-speed corner section, but also, you know, not too much downforce, therefore generate drag that, you know, slows you down on the straight. So it's definitely for the drivers a balancing act they've got to participate in when on the track. So obviously we've got RSR Danny leading out in the front. SR Bobbits is just behind. VSR Verstappen there in P3. Tom 123 P4. Danny there. Someone's just kind of sent a bank lap for now on the mediums, just kind of trying to feel how they, you know, trying to see how they feel in the car, making, you know, changes to how they want to drive, etc., etc. So talking about in terms of length, the track's about 5.451 kilometers, which is not one of the longest ones we've got. The longest one is Belgium, which is about 7 kilometers. So you can see about a kilometer and a half difference, but still quite a long track at the end of the day. I'm just trying to find out how long the actual that little section of track is. I'm not too sure, to be fair, but as I say, it's probably one of the not one of the longest straights on the F1 calendar. I'm not too sure. I think that goes to longest straight on the F1 calendar. I know Baku's got the second longest one, as we saw from today. That long straight where if you get a slipstream of DRS, you know, you're going absolutely flying. So here we are. We've got VSR Verstappen there. Let's quickly just talk about generally what happened last week, last race. So pull it up quickly. I don't have all the graphics for the standings just yet, but Shizu Overkill, I don't believe is on. He's not. He's still leading because he got P1 in the first race in Australia and P7 in Bahrain, so he's got 2 points on the board. Sam is in P2 because he got that, you know, that podium finish in P2 for Australia, but then he didn't get any points. He got P13 in Bahrain, so not a brilliant one. The same kind of goes to Danny, who's in P3. He got a DNF in in Australia, but he got P2 in Bahrain just because, as we see VSR Verstappen having a slight moment there as he goes through the sections of 9 and 10, just coming out onto the grass AstroTurf there. So now ends sector 2 and then into sector 3, round 11, then 12. So yeah, just due to Sam having, you know, the best result, you know, 13 to a DNF, he does take that P2 in the championship. As of Clone Troop is in P4 because they're P3 and 10, so he's got about 16 points there. Elgis also the same, he's on 16 points, just the other way around. He got P10 in Australia, then P3 in Bahrain. Arctic Avenger 4th and 9 for him there. João Paulo got 4th, he missed out Australia. Ben got 6th in Australia, then 8th in Bahrain. Hayden's got the same again, but the other way around, so 8th and 6th. XB1 got 5th and 11th. Danny Shaw got DNS and 5th. So you can see pretty much similar to everyone is. Everyone just had one sort of like bogey race, if we can call it that, where they didn't perform as well as they expected, and then they kind of made it up in the other. So obviously, they, you know, they take into your previous, you know, the best other results in order to see where you come out in form of the league. And obviously, you know, if you got DNS compared to P13, the P13 wins out, and therefore gives you the better standing as of yet. So Bromson there, who should be racing tonight, but he says he broke and bruised his bone just above the elbow, because I think I read in the Twitter chat that he playing baseball baseball obviously, which I've never really played myself, so I'm guessing left elbow. So I'm guessing he probably, I don't know if he was batting or throw the ball and catching it. But broken bruised the bone just above my left elbow, so not racing this week and probably the next few weeks, which is quite painful, quite a shame to be fair. Obviously we're racing every single week. We've got a break week on the 9th of June just to coincide with the Canadian Grand Prix, and also it's the UEFA Nations League final, so you know, that and both going into it. So obviously we've got break with there, and I think we've got another round after that or two, because it's a short season this year purely because we've got F1 2019 coming out a bit earlier than anyone really predicted or expected. You know, we all thought, okay, you know, it'll come out in August like it always does. But I think that's been one of the main drivers of people, obviously, when you see, you know, F1 game, they want to go, they want it as early as they can, because if you look at FIFA, they come out in September and the season launches, you know, season starts August, so people obviously want the games a lot sooner than, you know, they normally. When Bromson there saying he was batting and then this went straight at me, so I don't know if the bat hit your left elbow, which I have seen before. People just let go of the bat and they just hit you, or even the ball hit you, but that is somewhat painful to be fair. Left elbow as well, if it was your arm, you know, that's even more, probably less of an issue to be fair, because your elbow is the joint, so when it steers, pretty much not ideal, so that's not great at all. Purely, yeah, the flags in sector 2 purely because we've got some people going, you know, going slow, getting on the bank up, charging that ERS battery there. Let's quickly get telemetry and that data on as well, just so we can see where everyone is going, while I'll quickly try and find the exact calendar for this year and finish on the 23rd of June with the Brazilian Grand Prix, so we don't end in Abu Dhabi, which some people obviously don't want. Oh no, the ball was that badly aimed by the pitch. Jesus Christ, that is a bad throw by him there. Completely missing the bat and going for your left elbow. Oh, I see how it goes, because I'm guessing if you're right batting, you've obviously got, you have two hands or one hand? Like, two hands, and then obviously, okay, and kind of see how that goes. So here we go with the Living Dead 69. He's obviously on P2, as you can see on there, and he's got the softs. Everyone set the times of bankers on medium, so everyone's just kind of going on it now, because we've got about 6 minutes left. China's a weird one, obviously, because I've never really liked the track. I don't think many people enjoy it, but people, I don't know, it's very much the mixed bag. Some people find it's a bogey track, some people love it, because they love the long sweeping corners. So obviously, you know, 1 and 2, I think they're the corners that people really want to perfect, because, you know, you're going down there into 8th gear probably, you know, gaining lots of speed with DRS coming out of them, you know. You want to obviously perfect it, because you don't want to run off and lose it, because the corner gets ever more tight as you go into it, and then unwinds itself going the opposite direction, so it can really change your force there quite quickly on the car. So obviously the setup has to be perfect just to account for it, and also make sure you're taking as much speed as you can there. You see we've got a Red Bull, I believe that is either LGS or, I don't know, that's SSR Bobbits, purely because LGS is in, because that's Bobbits behind the Living Dead 69. They're Bobbits coming on the Ultra Source, whereas Living Dead is on the soft tyre. So he goes coming out. See, the hairpin obviously is a real sticking point, because when he comes into the pits, obviously some people, they try and perfect it where obviously they want to get as much rotation as they can into the car and try and shift down a few more gears than you normally expect to. So obviously rotation is absolutely key there, because for a long, you know, your exit out of 10-14 results in where you are going to turn 1 to be fair, because obviously you've got the DRS going through, you know, if you mess up 14, you've probably messed up about half the lap to be fair. You're coming out of, you know, out of sector 3, then into sector 1, then pretty much into sector 1 and 2, so obviously your exit out of 14 is probably the most critical exit you can get out of any corner in the circuit at all, bar 13 I'd say, but then you could probably make it up with DRS and ERS and your fuel. But yeah, I say 14 probably the most important, you know, exit you need out of any corner, out of the whole entire track. Here we go, we're on with Danny. He's probably not using as much as track as you could expect. Obviously, he's just on an outlap, just warming up the tyres, trying to make sure he gets as much, you know, heat into the tyres. Also banking the ERS, as well as you see it's on 0. Just try and charge up as much as you can, because I'm trying to make sure you can just use as much as possible when you're on your fast lap. See there, use as much of the actual tread as you can. Start to weave, so try and get some heat built into the tyres. Goes round, so quite a few flags. The other flag in sector, I think purely that is based just on where people are slowing down on the lap to try and warm up. You obviously, you know, spacing is pretty critical there, as we see someone very slow. Who was that? I think that was Lone Tree going quite slowly. Just stopped there. Yeah, he's going rather slowly. Probably not the best way to warm up your car. Goes quite slowly around the hairpin. Continues to go quite slowly, to be fair. I don't know. He's done anything to his car. No, he hasn't. So he's now put it in there as it goes around 16. Trying to get as much as he can with DRS and the ERS. Around 4 now as he goes into turn 1. Let's see how he goes on board. Clips a bit of the curb there. We'll try and get as wide as you can through here. Doesn't go too wide. Doesn't go for the curb on the inside of 2. Here's the curb on the inside of 3, you want to hug 4 there, and you run it out wide, and you've got the slight kink of 5 here, get the curb, and then you want to go into 6, open it up as much as you can, get a good exit as you then prepare to go through 7 here, the long left hand. So this is one of the tracks, one of the corners, sorry, where downforce is absolutely critical, and then you shift it again into a lot of, you know, weight and, you know, power being transferred through this track and onto the car. So you can see with 1 and 2, and 7 and 8, you know, just the sheer, you know, force within the car has been shifted, you know, quite quickly. To be fair, don't, you know, some of the tracks don't normally put that for the car. So this, you know, this track is definitely a test for the drivers and the cars. Going through 12 here, try and hug the corner on the inside. Sorry, and running wide on the outside. DRS is now open. It's on 4. You can see that the fuel's flashing on red, but that's like that. He's probably, you know, got. Just going to take it slowly on the way back in. Try and perfect the hairpin. Slight lock up on the left tyre there. Obviously, don't forget the tyre you qualify on, if you're in the top 10, will be the one you start on. Takes 16. Takes a bit of the curb on the inside. Not too much though. Seeing some people take a lot more than that. And he stops there. Wasn't too happy this time, clearly. He stops just before the line. And stays P5. That all bumps up into P5, should I say. So, not brilliant from him. He's probably waiting a little time as we see all the cars now coming through. As Bobbitt's coming through. Limited 69 just waiting for his turn now. So we've got 38 seconds left on the clock for this qualifying session. He comes in just to get the back of the pack and dude there. So in terms of who's going to be on par, I'm not too sure here, but you can see let's stay on board with the Limited purely because he is the last driver on, you know, on choice for us, and he's the only car, it says, who's on the optional tyre. So it's going to be interesting to see where he comes actually to the light. There is a Mercedes just behind him there, but is that Mercedes on a fast lap? That Mercedes should look. It was on a fast lap. To be fair, so it could be Aaron Dazzler or XB1 89. But let's just stay with Living Dead, and the clock hits 0, and the checker flag is out. So that's the end of qualifying. Go through turn 6, keep it as wide there, does quite well to be fair. So you now go through 7, you can see the load through the car, it's pretty much planted on the throttle there, just a slight release there. So you can't go through full throttle around there, as you normally expect. You've got to give a slight give, but there's a car that ended up in the wall, and who is that? I'm not too sure, but we'll probably find out. It looked like, I was going to say it looked like a Williams, but it can't be the Williams. It's probably Tom there, who's on pole right now, but he's retired from session. So is Danny, who's in P3, but let's stay with Living Dead and let's see where he is in relation to some of the other times as he starts sector 3. DRS is now open, a bit late on the DRS being opened. And here we go, he barrels down to 10-14. Another car that's gone off there. I believe that is Clone Troop in the Ferrari. He has spinned it on the hairpin. He goes into 16, clips a bit of the curve, not too much, going to take the grass in there and lose the time completely, and he goes across the line to take pole, a 1:29.792, the fastest time there. Obviously the ultra tyre pretty much giving it to him there, about 9/10, give or take the difference between him and Tom in the Haas. If he has Verstappen, is he on a fast lap? I don't believe he is. So he's got a check flag there. As Avenger comes into the pits, and that is the end of qualifying. Here we go, just waiting for all the cars to come across now. Don't see what's out fully because all the cars have got the checker flag up, and that, there we go. Takes a few seconds for the game just to initialise. Here we go, Aaron Dasler there in P5. So obviously setup's pretty crucial as well, but obviously you win points in the race, not during qualifying. So the strategy choice by the Living Dead there is going to be quite interesting because obviously he's gone for the ultra soft tyre, as you can see there, and that gives him a, compared to everyone else on the softs there, maybe a bit of a struggle for him to maintain that. Obviously X-Power and Tom's on the slowest tyre there on the mediums, but the other drivers all qualifying on the soft tyres, so they'll probably, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously we've seen it before with Shazoo Overkill, who qualified on the ultra softs and got pole but maintained it. Obviously got such a lead out of the start there, and he was gaining 1 second lap. That gave him enough window there just to push on, but also just to get himself enough time to go through on the pit stop there, and just, the pit stop was obviously where he won it with the different strategy, moving onto the softs. And then slightly cloudy, it seems, a bit of an overcast China. I don't see any rain, but we may have some rain on the forecast, but obviously I do not have that on me yet, so we are not too sure what is going on. Just waiting for all the drivers to confirm going into the session. Go. A few drivers just coming through now. After Danny's there, WOR clone troops here. Clays, just that slight little wait. And then go on the formation lap straight away, so Living Dead start us off in the Williams, so you don't normally see. You've got Williams leading the line there. Harris, Tom 1, 2, 3 for the win. He's the other Tom in the Haas is at the back of the grid in P16. Obviously Verstappen there, he won out last time in Bahrain. Obviously there's some different colours in the 4CD. That's good because he's a reserve driver, so he doesn't have a permanent seat in any of the cars, so he just kind of takes whichever seat he can. But back there, wasn't fully planted. As you saw, they kind of just seem to be slightly struggling there with the car, just warming up the tyres as much as he can. Also, Danny there in the background. See Aaron Dasler there at the back as well. Followed by Danny, FA1, plus Avenger there, his McLaren teammate. Verstappen is getting rather close to him. Behind Sam there. Currently P2 in the championship in P9, TR Clays in P10, Hayden P11 right there, Adam Dude P12, Clone Tree P13, LGS in P14, the last of the soft runners. Oh, qualified on the softs, but obviously he's on the mediums, Hayden's on the mediums as well, Andrew's also on the mediums. Whereas Hayden's gone onto the ultra softs, which is somewhat different to be fair. And Tom's Bounce has gone onto the softs, so the last place driver going onto the softs there. So a mixed bag in terms of strategy. Hayden thinking he can go out and make some headway and start a race by going onto the ultra softs there, but you know, I think he's definitely going to be mirroring the strategy of Living Dead 6 now, but at least, you know, he's got 10 cars in front of him just to be able to let him mirror the strategy there. Here we go, Living Dead just coming around the last corner of the game is about to take over just as he gets into his slot there. Tom's Bowles just warming up his softs at the back of the grid. You could see the rain on the forecast, maybe that's why Hayden has gone for the ultra softs, but then that throws into contention why the others have gone for the mediums there. But we are in for an exciting race with the Williams leading the pack. Here we go. We've got the lights coming on now. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and they go off, and the cars start racing. And how good is the lead from the Williams? We're not too sure. Pretty good launch from the Williams, but the Haas tries to slide him behind him, goes as wide as he can on the outside of turn 1 to get on the inside, and you can see that he's dived in and gained P1 from the Williams, just squeezed out the Living Dead as much as he can there. Here's Verstappen staying right there in P3, but RSR Danny is closing in on Verstappen there, gaining place from Danny there in P4. Then coming through, everyone now coming there. Slight contact there, as you saw from SR Bobbers, breaking this very, very late into Danny F31, who then had a slight tap with RSR Danny, but RSR Danny is still saying in P4, no damage there, but definitely some damage there for the Red Bull and the McLaren. The McLaren completely spinning right, as you see SR Bobbers dropping down completely down the grid, now into P15, one place up from Danny, who he collided with. Tom, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the win. Seems to go off there, just coming out the corner, and that's given Living Dead 69 the place back, just going wide on the outside, getting a bit of the Astrodev there in turn 10, so he's back in the position of P2 there. Living Dead obviously now getting the clean air, which is pretty much critical for his strategy there on the ultra soft tyres there. There's a Verstappen keeping on behind with RSR standing. Let's see how everyone is compared to in terms of positions gained if we can. See there straight away. Arctic Avenger there gaining in 2 positions there. Hayden there gaining up 5 positions, nearly 6 there, or maybe losing a position as he's got the ultra soft tyre. Let's stay on with Aaron Dazzler, who's watching on from behind with some soft tyres there. Hayden not get the best exit he could. Aaron Dazzler could get some sort of slipstream and make a move there. But let's see. So he go on the. He tries to go for the inside of 1, but there's something he can do. He's going to try and take it into second there. You can see multiple lines can be taken through 1 and 2, which lets the cars just change the way they want to accelerate and brake, and just kind of get their car as much in front as they can and try and get that crucial track position in order to make the move. Sam behind them, making about 2 places there. Adam Dude making about 4. TR Clays making about 1 position to be fair, so still in the points. Tom's Bounce, I'm about to say, went into P10, but Clone Troop comes in around turn 6. Bit of contact there, bit of a clump, but he is into P10. 3 positions up for the Ferrari driver. Tom's now in 5th, coming up from behind. He's going to try and go on the outside through turn 8, but he can't make much of it. He's going to stay behind as they go through turn 9. LGS there, the last, to be fair, of the real big point scorers, as Danny takes a lot of the track there. And then X-Power just behind there. Danny going through best he can. Arctic Avenger, I believe it probably was Arctic Avenger who collided with the Bobberts there, not Danny. I guess Danny also got caught up, both McLarens got caught up in that tangle. The Bobberts there in P16. So 2 of the main losers of the race so far being Bobberts and Arctic Avenger. Here we go, Living Dead setting the fastest lap, then followed by Tom, then followed by Fiesta Verstappen there. So these 3 getting rather close to each other. Let's make sure we can get the interval between each other. And DRS is now enabled. We're on lap 3, so let's make sure we get everyone in terms of the tyres there. And they're pretty close to each other. We can see about 2 tenths between all of them as Tom tries to go on the inside as Living Dead 69 doesn't get the best turn. Coming out of turn 2 there with the going down into turn 6. Living Dead's got the inside line. Let's see if Tom can do the switchback, and he does get quite a lot of grip coming out of it. Pretty good exit there. As Verstappen also looks around the outside of turn 7. He's done 1, and then he's done 2 as they go through a. There we go, Verstappen now in the lead of the race, and Tom coming through as well, so not a pretty set of corners for the Living Dead. And also Danny also takes P3 now away from the Williams, so the Williams going from 1st to 4th in a matter of 10 corners. Would not be expecting that. That Verstappen now got the Tom WCAF, Tom 123 for the win, right behind him there in the Haas, as he goes completely wide on the exit of 13. And now obviously with DRS enabled, you've got to be careful to where you've got to beat Verstappen straight away on the defensive. Is Tom gaining on him? He is, but not as much as you expect. As Danny's also gaining on Tom. A few lockups there, going out of the hairpin, as you can see there. Living Dead 69 just been a bit opposite lock there, and just correcting what's going on as he comes into the pits to change the ultra soft size that he probably a bit too much lockup. Obviously seeing that probably being ultra soft was not the ideal strategy for him. Hayden stays out on the ultra softs there, and he's in P4 currently. See that Tom's battle's got a penalty there for some multiple points. That's 3 seconds added onto him. Regardless of just set the fastest lap of the moment. He's got about, let's say, about 7 seconds of free air right in front of him. So obviously all the free air he can probably use as much as he can on the mediums though, but 2 lap old mediums, so probably some of the freshest tyres out there. Except for Living Dead 69, who's gone onto the softs there. As you can see, probably best for him is probably moving to mediums because he needs to hit lap 4, but 24 laps on some fresh softs, he probably could do it. Probably cannot, but that's something for definitely us to see. Probably a bit of time management later onto the race. But let's just see what they can do. LGS there. The last point scorer currently in the Red Bull, Danny there. He obviously got caught up with the Bobbit's collision caused by LGS's teammate. Gaining him slightly as Sam and Aaron Dazzler there. Aaron Dazzler there making a move on the Ferrari. As ahead of him, LCR Hayden comes in just to mirror the strategy done by the Living Dead 69, so we can obviously see where they come out in terms of the undercut. Adam Dude there, Living Dead's teammate, trying to look around the outside of Sam, keeps it on the inside of 1 as they go through 2 now. Let's see how they go. Squat hammer as you go from 2 into 3, hug 3 as much as you can, and run it wide as you go 3, 4. You see now Hayden comes out behind Living Dead, 3 seconds, so not too much time lost there by Hayden, but probably the upstop was not the best time for either of the runners to start, and is now down in 12th and 14th respectively. So let's see, after Danny now is keeping rather close to Tom. 1, 2, 3 as they activate DRS now, and let's just see how he goes. As quickly see his telemetry as well. You can probably see he's not using ERS at all, to be fair. Just have a look on the house in front of them. Can make a move, stick out a bit far back for him to do anything, but kind of just keeping the pace, keeping tyres as well as you can as you get DRS back again. Go through the start, finish straight. And I see he goes through turn 1. Drop a bit of time, it seems, there through turn 1 and sorry, from the turn 16 into 1 and 2. He seems to gain it through the first 2 or 3 corners. As he goes through 4 there. Then we'll take a slightly different line. Tom going a bit wider coming out of 4 and kind of back in 5. Following very similar line 4, 6, pretty simple corner. Let's see how they take 7 though. It's going to be rather interesting to see very levels of downforce there, just so you can see where they can lift. RSI Danny not using full throttle, you see just slowly on the power. A few squirts of power there, not full throttle just of yet. Balance the braking. You see there, it's real corners. You come through 7, lift a bit, and brake down 2 gears into 5th, 6th, and you know how fast you want to go. Then into 9th, you know you want to accelerate into it, but then you've got to balance it as best as you can. And 10 and 11 is quite more simple. But 12 is also the corner where you see different lines come through as well as you know you're following others. You want to see how best you get, best exit you can get. Also with ERS now 0 for RSA. It also depends on the DRS activation point as well. But yeah, there you go. Back on the start-finish straight. Danny still in 3/10 of the car in front of him. Nothing much you can do. The power of DRS is outbalanced due to the fact that Tom does have DRS in front of him. And then we see some moves being done there by close on Tyrrell's arcades and Danny on LGS. Then you see LGS just keeping as close as he could. He sticks down into P10, but LGS is side by side there. So both banned in 4 P9. Danny trying to make the best move he can. Going on the 6, got the inside there, breaks up slightly on the left. Here they go.